Hi, my name is Ben, and this week I want to talk about an issue that is hugely important to me, to the medium of photography, and critical to the community that surrounds it. In this video, we are discussing the underrepresentation of women in the photography industry. This is an ongoing problem that has persisted since the 1800s, since the very first photograph was taken, but it recently burned back up into my psyche when I attended a few photo-based events that many said seemed like a boys' club. And while there were certainly many amazing female photographers in attendance, it absolutely did skew toward men, and it really pains me that women may have stayed away from these sorts of events or felt a lack of interest due to the culture cultivated by men who have, knowing or unknowingly, dominated this medium. I am not making this video to be the loudest voice in the room. There are many amazing women who have made videos about this topic. Many of them are my friends. Links to those are in the description. But I think it's important that fellas are also talking to each other about this. And that's what spurred me to want to shoot this video. I think this video is me addressing the dudes to say, this is what the problem is. This is where it stems from. This is what we can do to start to fix it on our ends. It's not the fault of the women that this is a continuous problem. It is, whether you've realized it or not, the fault of this long simmering culture cultivated by men, and it's worth discussing straight up, in my opinion. The first thing I want to address is this notion that there are somehow fewer female photographers overall, and that's why you may see them less on YouTube, Instagram, community meetups, or what have you. While I obviously don't have the stats on this, I feel based on my experience in this industry that it is a completely false assumption. I think people tend to look at their own little pocket of the world and extrapolate incorrectly that it is a universal experience because that's what they're experiencing. Though photography is many things. It's an art form, it's an educational discipline, it's a mechanical trade if you tinker with cameras, it is for people interested in collectibles, it's an opportunity for gathering and community. It's possible that if you are buried in one of those many niches, you may be missing the bigger picture and the broader demographic that encompasses this art form. So no, I don't think there are fewer female photographers. They are simply being underrepresented in pop photography like YouTube, Instagram, whatever. And more importantly, this is a medium where men have subjugated women through gatekeeping to push women out of their line of work, not to mention exploiting them through its practice. The professional level most certainly is a boys' club because that's the culture that's been established since its inception as a professional trade. Us boys are responsible for doing what we can do to correct this, whether that be how we staff our crews, who we refer jobs to, who we choose to even socialize with. Outreach is incredibly crucial. Male photographers need to connect with female artists, open dialogues, generate friendships, consume their art, especially because they are underrepresented in all levels of the industry. Why are there fewer female directors of photography? Well, because there were institutional barriers for 150 years keeping them out of the profession. And it has a cascading effect into how people socialize and idolize and dream and create. So I think the first solution is outreach, friendships, and building that community. This, I think, is a major, major point here. I think this starts with community. If you're wondering why women didn't show up in droves to a community event, but you didn't communicate with many women leading up to it, what did you think was going to happen? And just because an event is free or open to all doesn't mean everyone will feel comfortable or welcomed at such a thing. That's a community issue that needs to be reshaped. And I'm absolutely not trying to speak as if I have all the answers or that I've been doing it right and you haven't. I'm trying to do better in this regard too. I need to keep including female photographers in videos. I need to continue making connections and fostering friendships. I'm personally the type of person who thrives off of the social element of whatever I'm doing, and maybe that's why I've seen fewer glaring ratioed hangs day to day. The B&H Creators event I hosted was majority of women, and I cannot tell you how much that meant to me. That's the sort of thing we're striving toward, and it is not some ridiculous goal. You just have to be better, help others rise up, connect people, and most importantly, foster friendships. This is more than just making an Instagram story once every 3 months saying, list your 5 favorite female photographers. That's a nice thing to do, but this takes a dump truck load more than that to actually make a difference. This video could be much longer, it could encompass a lot more elements of this problem, but my goal here is to simply start this conversation, and for you to start a conversation with your fellow fellas to be like, hey, maybe reach out to your favorite female shooters, do a photo walk with them, have a real conversation, invite them to shoot, whatever. Don't just sit around, stand up and lift up. And let's be clear, this applies to fostering a more diverse and inclusive community for all in the photography world. Let's go, baby. We've got this. Thank you so much for watching In an Instant. Again, this is not a normal episode, and I'd really like discussion generated here about how you think we can all do better, what you see as additional issues in this industry, and how we can grow as a community. Thank you for watching. Much love.